Logging and tracking time is an important process for many organizations. If yours is already doing this, or maybe you're only thinking about it and looking for a tool to do it efficiently inside the Jira ecosystem, you're in the right place. Today we are going to take a look and do an overview of, I think, the best timesheeting or time logging tool inside Jira, which is Timesheets by Tempo. Currently, it is the best tool. It is the best app. Although there are several of them doing this, Tempo has some really interesting features that I will be showing in this video that I think make it stand out among its competition. So let's get into this, but before I do, I just want to mention that this video is part of our effort to deliver high-quality training and learning materials inside the Jira or Atlassian ecosystem. And if you want to support us, consider subscribing to the channel. And also please note that we offer paid services for this area. For Timesheets by Tempo in particular, we have a video training, which is designed to help people on board with the tool and learn everything there is to learn about this amazing app. And you will be learning not only what features are inside and how to use them, but also different use cases, different applications of certain features, so that you can get the best out of the tool without any major hassle. So if that sounds interesting, look into the description of this video. There is a link to the web page for this training, and you will learn a lot more on the web page over there. And now let's go back to the timesheets and talk a little bit about what it allows you to do. So this is the screen that most of the time you will be working with. Alternatively, maybe you will be looking at the list view that is available over here. Both of them contain the same kind of information. And you can see that there are many different entries already available here for me. Now you might be wondering, okay, where are all of those coming from? And that's a very valid question, one of the most important ones. So the good thing about Tempo timesheets is that it allows you to log time with so many different places. I'm not going to show all of them over here. They are covered inside our training, but basically over here, over here, over here in the timesheets view, of course on the issue itself. So if you open a single issue inside Jira, there is a possibility to log time as well. By the way, Tempo overrides the standard Jira log work, and with Tempo logging work, you can actually capture many more information, additional custom fields, for example, that will be stored and later on can be used for example, reporting for your timesheets. So that's the first amazing thing that Tempo does. But actually, an even more interesting aspect of Tempo, which is completely covered again in the training, is that Tempo allows you also to plan the work in a very efficient way. So several years ago, when Tempo Cloud didn't exist yet, you purely could go over here, for example, and plan your time, right? So that's fairly easy. You just click plan, check the issue or the project. So if you're not exactly sure what issue you will be working on, you can plan for a single Jira project for now and later on change it to a log work attached to an issue. But basically, this is super simple. You just plan, okay, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing this here in this time frame, and that's it. And it jumps into your plan as plans, right? So for example, let me switch to this one. For example, logworks, activities. Oh, I don't have any plans. Oh, there is one over here. So you will see the planned entries over here as plans, right? But an amazing thing that Tempo did with its timesheets in the cloud version, and that's the one we're looking at over here, is that you can create feeds that will create plans for you, so to say. Okay, so these are connected with two separate things, I would say. The first one is that you can connect Timesheets by Tempo with external apps. So first of all, you have two calendars, either Google or Microsoft 365 calendar. So that's already awesome. And that's what I have over here. So some of the entries on this list, in this screen, you will see that they have this Google icon over here because they are coming from my Google Calendar. And whatever I have scheduled in my Google Calendar will appear over here as an entry that I can turn into a logged work entry later on. That's pretty awesome, right? On top of this, if you attach an issue key inside your calendar entry, either in the title or in the description, it will automatically link this calendar entry with that issue, which means that if such a calendar entry like this one, for example, appears over here in timesheets, I can simply click log time like that, and I'm done. The time has been logged. Isn't that beautiful, right? So if you, of course, if you want to make adjustments to those entries in the calendar, you can, right? But if there was a meeting and the meeting happened as scheduled, it's as simple as coming over here and clicking, bam, you're done, right? Your planned entries from different tools can be controlled over here with the switches, right? So I have Google Calendar visible. I don't have Microsoft Calendar synced, so it doesn't appear over here. But as you can see, you can also synchronize with JetBrains. You can synchronize with Visual Studio Code. They do require additional extensions for you to be able to do that. But then it also means that your developers, for example, working on things, can easily track time just by doing their work, and then whatever they are doing over there in those tools is getting synced with timesheets by tempo, and entries as planned entries appear over here. And again, later on, it's just as easy as confirming, yes, I have been doing this. But there is one more entry over here called Jira, and that's an interesting one as well, because what this one does, and of course all of them are optional, you don't have to use them if you don't want to, but what Jira entry does is that when, as a user, you're working on things in Jira, so opening issues and then changing something on the level of those issues, maybe creating issues, maybe changing the status, maybe updating an issue in some way, changing the description, adding a comment, right? These things are registered by tempo timesheets over here as actions that you as a user did on the level of an issue. So potentially, maybe you have been working on that issue for whatever reason. And then Tempo creates over here a feed again from your Jira side. And whatever you've touched, so to say, on the Jira level will come over here as an entry. And then you can grab an entry like this. This is one of those examples. You can grab an entry like this. You can edit it if you want to. So you can say, okay, on the post-production, I have been working not 50 minutes, but actually it was more like 1 hour and 15 minutes. And you can log time with this. And there we go. There you go, right? So that's another beautiful thing, right? You can see some more entries coming from Jira over here. So basically, this eliminates a big part of the barrier that is connected with time tracking and logging work. So many companies we're working with, they are asking us, while we are helping them introduce the time tracking tool, how to do it efficiently, how to do it in a way that doesn't scare people away, right? So that people are not feeling like they are forced to doing something completely unnecessary, and it's a burden, and you have to spend some additional time doing that. It's a hassle. Nobody likes time tracking, let's be honest, right? This right over here, what Tempo did, allows you to get this level of tool adoption to being very, very low. Because all you have to do at the end of the day is come over here, check the things that you have been working on really during that day, and say, yes, I have been doing this and this and this. Oh, this one actually took me a little bit longer. So edit, log work, pick, 1 minute, and you're done with your time logging. So that's why I think Timesheets by Tempo currently is the best time tracking tool inside the Jira ecosystem. because of this feature, right? But this video is not only about this one single feature. I want to give you an overview of the tool, so I will proceed doing that. All right, so I am over here in Apps, Tempo. I'm looking at My Work tab, right? So this is the tab that will be available for every person inside the company, at least if you give them access to Tempo. And as I said, over here, I can use the calendar view to check what's on my planner, to log time from over here. The same thing I can do inside the list view. So if you prefer to work with the list rather than the calendar, you have a nice division into work logs. So what already has been registered, activities. So that's my feed of planned work that potentially are here to be changed into work logs. If you will have any plans registered over here, I have just one, but normally you would probably have a lot more. You will also have them over here. The last view, the timesheet view, is a most detailed view. So this is basically where you can see what you have been working on, what are the work logs, and it will be better if I switch to the previous week, more data over here, right? And basically, this is the summary of whatever the person has been doing, right? So this time it's just me. These are my work logs over here. And I said that this is the most advanced view because from over here, you actually have quite a lot of options of customizing it. So there are lots of grouping options over here. There are lots of view options that are available as well. And basically, whatever you have connected with your logged work, with your timesheets, can be shuffled around over here and brought to the view as kind of a report view, really, right? So that's the amazing thing. And of course, if you want to log work, you simply click on a single day and you say, yes, I've been working several hours on a certain issue over here. If you want to log work for several different days, no problem at all. You can log work for several different days as well. So in terms of logging work, an amazing app. In terms of planning, an amazing app again. What you will not see over here is that Timesheets by Tempo also nicely connects with the cost tracking app. So if you will be thinking about, okay, I want to log my work, but I want to also see how this logged work now turns into budgets, for example, and how much time I am spending on certain things, working for certain clients, what are my billable hours, non-billable hours, and stuff like that. Some of the things, a very small portion, can be done here just with Tempo timesheets, and again, it's explained in our video, but the majority of those things are actually achievable with an additional app from Tempo called Cost Tracker for Jira, right? And then you have like a complete picture. And if you want to also do the resource planning, and more advanced than just this one with simple plans inside your timesheets, Tempo also has a planner app. So all of those three combined together, they create a wonderful ecosystem that allows you to plan your time for the resources, track log work and track that logged work, create reports for this, and also get into the financial aspect of everything. So pretty cool. All right. You might be wondering, okay, is there any approval process, for example, for the timesheets I have over here? Sure. So there is a time period over here available. It can be weekly or monthly, and here you are able to submit your timesheets. You can see that this one, for example, is waiting for approval. This one is ready to be submitted. This one is open, so there is no time. Actually, there is some time logged over here, but I have 16. I'm 16 hours behind, right? So there are some hours missing over here. So yes, there is an approval process, and it's very nice with grace periods. Basically everything that you need. Let's look at the reports. So reports, you will be maybe surprised. They look very similar to what we've just been looking at, right? So I will open one of the saved reports, and you will see that it's actually a pretty similar screen to the previous one, because essentially this is what it is. It's like a timesheets view that is like fully filterable and customizable, right? So I can filter by certain elements, I can group by again by certain elements, and I can customize my view with certain settings, and that's basically it. So you might be thinking, okay, there's just one type of the report, but actually you can achieve so much with just this one. Therefore, it's simply enough It's simple enough when it comes to timesheets. By the way, you might be looking at this one, and maybe you've noticed that there are things like accounts over here available, account categories, category types. There are roles. There are also skills, but they are not filterable by over here. So there are different aspects of Tempo that allow you to capture the data in certain ways. And especially accounts are kind of interesting because you can create accounts. First of all, you can actually create customers as labels. Then you can create accounts for those customers. And those accounts can, for example, represent different types of projects or different types of work you do for certain customers. So again, this categorizing with different labels, let's call them, different categories, allows you to have very detailed views of your logged work, even if you are a big organization, or I would actually say especially if you are a big organization, right? So that's really, really interesting. You, of course, can work with teams. So who wouldn't use teams nowadays, right? So you can see that I have just three teams, and inside the teams you can check, okay, who is the member of the team, what is their assignment to the team. So you can see that the people don't have to be assigned for 100% to one team. So a user can be a member of several different teams at the same time, and then you are able to control when these people join the team, when they leave the team. And if you have the team ready, you can again control the timesheets of the team. You can, for example, help some users that are absent with logging work on their behalf as a team leader. So that's pretty cool. You have the approval process over here, I've already mentioned. You have also team permissions that allow you to see and do different things on the level of the team. And by the way, Tempo Cloud also have this general role that can be applied across multiple teams. So if you have a role that is applicable for the whole organization, not just for a single team, it can also be done not here but inside the settings. That's pretty a small thing, but a pretty cool one. So I'm just mentioning it over here. Now those accounts that I've mentioned, right? Customers, you can create customers that you're working for. You can create accounts for those customers, and there are several different ways of approaching what the account will actually represent and how to use this. And again, I'm not going to go into the details over here. It is fully explained inside our training. So if you want to check this one out, the link is in the description of the video. And then last area that we are actually going to visit are the settings. And then you will see that there are several configuration settings, just general settings. But out of those, I just want to mention work attributes, because work attributes are pretty important because they allow you to capture some additional data when users are logging time. So you can create additional fields over here, and you can make those fields, for example, mandatory or optional. So you can always say that whenever someone is logging time, these items, this information is absolutely mandatory and necessary, and people have to provide that. Therefore, you then get the data that you need to analyze the workloads efficiently later on. So that's really, really good and important. Data access permissions, periods configuration. That's really interesting because there is a scheduler available over here that automatically closes the time period, sends notifications, hey, the end of the period is approaching and you're still missing 16 hours from the last week, for example. Take care of this, right? And then the scheduler can also automatically close the period so that logging time is no longer available. And then it's time to submit those timesheets, approve them, go through the approval process. If somebody forgot to log some work or didn't manage because was absent, there is this grace period that the approver can grant to the user. All of those amazing things available inside the tool. Managing staff, roles, skills, workload and holiday plans, right? So you can control how much people are working during the week. So if it's not a standard week for everyone, 40 hours, you can create additional workload plans. You can manage holiday plans. So you can manage different holidays, and then those days will be free and will not take any hours in terms of log time, for example, right? So and of course the app will know that a certain week, for example, is not 40-hour week, but for example 32-hour week, because there's one day of holidays inside. So those things are again configurable and covered by timesheets, by Tempo. So As you can see, this app, in terms of timesheeting, is quite robust and allows you to do many different things, really. And I think that, if I'm thinking, what am I missing over here? It's almost nothing. I just love how it is right now. And maybe Tempo will come up with something that I don't even realize at this point. But I am completely happy with this timesheet solution delivered by them. So hopefully this overview will help you understand what the tool is about and what it allows you to do. And you will be able to make the decision whether you want to explore this further with the trial, for example, or maybe look at other solutions. Although, as I said, you will probably not find anything better than this inside the Atlassian ecosystem. So again, if you're interested in exploring the tool and you want to make sure that it fits the organization as well as possible, that it's seamlessly integrated with your Jira and other apps that you might also have, that it covers all the potential use cases that you want to use it for, reach out to us and we can schedule a call and talk about this, or you can just go into our training and explore the options over there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you in one of the next videos.